Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Nerd Mode On, and I'll be doing a gameplay commentary over some Battlefield 4. In this particular installation, I'll be using the Little Bird again, and needless to say the least, my squad mate's going to be jumping in here, keeping me alive. And I'm really glad you guys enjoyed yesterday's video. It went over really well, and overall, you guys seem to really have experiences that you wish to add to the video, which was awesome. I'm glad you guys decided to jump into the conversation. And needless to say the least, there was a little bit of a discussion of platform gaming, but it didn't get out of control. We kept it civil, and I appreciate that you guys kind of keep that ground a little bit more unshaken than it needs to be, because it's already up in arms, and it's already interesting, needless to say the least. So I'm glad you guys kept it civil in there. But when it comes down to it, guys, I want to talk with you a little bit about this particular map and aircrafts that are on it. Now, you guys will notice, throughout the gameplay, I'm constantly getting locked. It's not like I'm running back to my deployment because I feel safe back here, because there's no reason to run back here. There's no, automatic minigun that absolutely destroys vehicles as soon as it sees people. I mean, there is a gun, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as some other maps. I mean, I can definitely list Siege of Shanghai on the US side. If you ever feel like you're getting chased, go back to your US deployment, and you can just sit back there, and that helicopter will get destroyed in seconds. Like, it is absolutely phenomenal. And there's some other maps that are really good for this technique, and, you're baiting the other person into a trap, and if they're dumb enough to follow you, I don't feel too bad for them. But when it comes down to the bread and butter of this video, guys, this map really drove me insane. I mean, I wasn't recording a whole lot of the live commentary, and needless to say the least, the only time you guys would ever hear me really say anything is when I died, because, needless to say the least, the Stinger missiles were getting a little out of control. And I want to praise you guys and let you know that this video was approximately 23 minutes long in the vanilla version, and I felt like you guys had better things to do than watch 23 minutes of me running back to the deployment getting one kill maybe. It wasn't that interesting, so I cut it up into little pieces, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. But when it comes down to really what I want to press on to you guys is that Stinger missiles are interesting. Part of me really wants to call them overpowered. Part of me really wants to say that they just shouldn't be in the game. If you guys remember back in Bad Company 2, you had to laser paint something. You had to shoot that little tracer dart at it, and then you had the ability to lock onto it. And I thought that was a really balanced way of playing the game. It required teamwork, skill, and it was just phenomenal. And unfortunately, with Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 being a little bit easier to play and trying to push a little bit easier to an easier non-competitive crowd, and that's not a bad thing by any means, but you can really tell the skill gap really gets a little closer every year. But with that in mind, Stinger missiles have never been something that I've really, looked at them and went, oh yeah, those are really balanced. As soon as they hit you, they can tip you over. They can, do almost maximum damage sometimes. I mean, they're just really unbalanced in multiple occasions. And I really wish DICE would, ask the community what they want, because I guarantee a majority of us would not want lock-on missiles. I just feel like they're not really needed in the game. I feel like they're more of a Call of Duty thing, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody there, but that's kind of how it is. Call of Duty doesn't have vehicles that you can really jump into. I mean, you can kind of control something on an iPad, but you're not really doing a whole lot there. But, that's the best comparison I have. And it just kind of frustrates me to see people just constantly sitting in their deployment and just shooting Stinger missiles, because they follow you for the longest period. They don't have a range on them. I mean, they can go across the map if they so wish. And it just kind of bugs me. It drove me nuts. You guys will see multiple times that I go on this roof, and there's a bunch of campers up there. You're like, nobody can tell me that these guys were playing the objective, because clearly they were not. I mean, they just sat up there and were like, hey, I like my spawn beacon, I got my sniper rifle. Yeah, this sounds like a pretty good place to set up shop. And it's not a bad spot, but you definitely weren't helping your team, needless to say the least. But with that in mind, I don't know, it kind of just got to me, and I figured I wanted to see what you guys had to say. If you guys agree with what I say, I'd like to know. If you disagree, let me know, and overall, I look forward to seeing your responses. This is NMO, and I'll be signing out, guys. Peace.